So I want to take some time now to realize that this is the end of a chapter for our library. Deborah, this is your last meeting with us, and we so much appreciate everything you've done. And we in fact have two past presidents in attendance right now to let you know what you've meant to them over the years, the past 6 years. Why don't we start off with Meredith? Go right ahead, Meredith.
It's going to be, first of all, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here with you tonight. And thank you for your service to the library. The years that I spent on the library board were really special, and years of great change. So I appreciate this opportunity tonight. I thank Mern very much for letting me do it. I know most of you, but not all of you. So just quickly to introduce myself and what brings me to this call. I joined the library board in 2009. Served 3 years as vice president when Scott Memhard was the president, and then served as president. I wasn't able to fill my whole term, and it's my signature on the grant application to the state for the building money. I just wanted to give you some context of what Deborah walked into, because there's nobody left on the board now that was there then. And I think to really appreciate what she's done for this community, you have to know what she inherited. And I want to emphasize that what she inherited was not, did not come from one person, did not happened over many decades. It took more than one person to create the problems, and it took more than one person to fix them. But I just want you to understand and indulge me in what she walked into here. So our bylaws were so bad that we did not know when the president was supposed to be elected. And so we had no idea. Was the president elected at the annual meeting? There was language in the bylaws that the president was elected after the annual meeting. We had no idea. The board was not functioning as a board. We could not get a financial report out of our financial system. We spent 4 years on waivers from the state. We did not qualify to be a public library in Massachusetts because we were underfunded, and we didn't have enough people with masters in library science. So for 4 years, I believe it was 4 years, we had to ask for waivers from the state just to keep the doors open. There were only 2 people on the staff with masters in library science. One was Helen Freeman, and the other was a part-time clerk in the reference department named Beth Cock. And that was it. There had been books on our shelves. Fred might remember this. There were books on our shelves that had not been taken out in 40 years.
Right.
That's how little they rotated the collection. 40 years. The building was unsafe and inadequate. We didn't have air conditioning until Fred came along. And so every summer we had to close when it got too hot.
That's right.
The Saunders house was a fire trap, with incredible fire trap. And politically, the library had never recovered from losing an override in the early 2000s. So this is, and that's just a partial list, okay? This is what this woman walked into. And again, I want to emphasize that this was not the fault of one person. This took a lot of years to get that bad. And we hired Deborah to fix it. We hired her as an agent of change. And as any of you who've ever been in that position know, as I have been, it's not a popular place. It's not an easy place to be. You are not going to be popular because you're being hired to fix everything. Especially in Gloucester, it's not easy to be a change agent. And she has improved. I wish I could see her face. She has improved every single area of this library, every single area by the force of her will.
Thank you, Deborah.
She was, I have to say, you can't talk about Deborah without saying she was a pain in my neck. She was a pain in my neck. And she's a dear, dear friend who I'm going to miss, and who this library is going to miss in ways that you don't even know yet how you're going to miss her. She's made Cape Ann a better place. She's made Gloucester a better place. She's made the library better. She's made me a better advocate for the library. I'm grateful, Deborah, for everything you've done. I'm going to miss you, and I wish you all the best in your retirement.
I have no intention of missing her friendship. I'm going to continue my friendship with Deborah.
Yeah.
That's a valuable thing I'm going to take from my years with her. She's a leader.
Can I say something, Meredith?
Sure. Go right ahead.
So, Meredith said a lot of what I was thinking about, because Deb and I were co-conspirators and frontline advocates for this new building during a very difficult period. Meredith talked me into the job because there was an exciting new director in the library, and I thought, oh well, agents of change, that's my business, and that'll be great fun. But it was a couple of really hard years of meetings. I wouldn't say every day of the week, but real close. Some ups and some downs, a little bit of pressure here, a little bit of raised voices there. But we've managed to get a grant submitted in 6 months, which is probably record time. $250,000 was spent on this project. It was not trivial. And I had never worked in a public or government, quasi-governmental agency. And the idea of an open meeting scared me to death. It took me a year or so, year and a half to relax enough to actually enjoy the open meetings and realize that they were my friends. They were going to help us. But I was just basically, the whole period of time, I was just basically doing what Deborah told me. And, you know, getting out in front. So there were two of us, not just her. But you know, it was a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of effort, and it did not make us particularly popular. But I'm very happy to see the way the building project is going. You know, Deborah got me to do this MBLC thing last week, 2 weeks ago, and if you have time, read what I wrote. There are things that are the problems are basically in the scripture of the MBLC document. And every time the pendulum swings, it gets a tip lower. And when somebody pulls out ahead of us, it goes down and we have less time. So as things get worse, they get twice as worse for us because we lose time. It is one of the most inane documents and plans for success that I've ever seen. Deb was really, it was a great experience, but without Deb, I would have just totally disappeared.
So John, our other past president, I know you had something you wanted to say.
Sure. Going off what Meredith said, first of all, we're all in debt to Deb's passion, because Meredith mentioned her will. The other ingredient was her passion, her true, genuine passion for libraries, the value of libraries, and communities. We are not, without that, we're not here. Even when I became the president, okay, the board had been decimated. Meredith had been almost run out of town by torches with pitchforks and torches, and a bunch of people came off the board. The constant through all this chaos was Deborah, okay? And I note, as my time on the board has sort of come to a close, I feel so thrilled to see this group of talented and intelligent individuals who are believers, okay? And I'm a believer. I'm part of the cause. And the person who really started this whole thing is Deb. I don't think she was the match that lit the flame, that inspired us all. And we're all, all of us, all of the library community, all the community of Gloucester is in her debt for her passion and what she's given us. Deborah, I truly appreciate that, and thank you for what you've done for the library. Yeah.
Are there other trustees that want to say a word?
I can't top that.
I'd love to say something.
Oh, I think Fred said something first, though.
I can't top that.
He
Oh,
said,
you can't top that. Okay, Priscilla, go ahead. You try.
well, I can't top it either. I can just say that I've had some really good conversations with Deb, and it's really demonstrated to me the breadth of her knowledge. And John, you're right, her passion for not just Sawyer Free Library, but library services and what it means to a broader community. And I think that, Deb, you certainly had the laboring oar going through slogging just through all of those issues that Meredith was outlining. I had an inkling of some, but not nearly all of those. And I'm surprised that you've hung in here that long through all of that. So I'm very, very grateful for everything that you've done for the library, and you will not soon be forgotten.
I'd like to say a thank you to Deborah for being patient with our board over the last 3 years that I've been part of the board, and for giving me your personal counsel at times when I was pretty despairing, and helping me get through some dark times. So really you've made a great difference in my life. Thank you.
Wow. Yeah, Anne Marie.
Deborah, I know I keep saying this in pretty much every meeting, but I want to thank you so much for, well, first, I had the pleasure and honor of working with Deborah on a committee as the vision and strategy was being put together on the Think Gloucester, and her passion, definitely, you could see it, you could hear it and live it. So working side by side with her in the Think Gloucester committee was just an amazing experience, and just really was clear her dedication and passion to our library and bringing it to where it is today. So thank you for that. But also I keep saying in our meetings that as I'm have stepped into the role of secretary, you have been there for me and helped with such an incredible transition. My feet are just getting wet in what this role is about, and for all that you've done over the years to keep this board moving forward, and thank you for your guide. I just thank you for your guidance and your patience with all my many questions. And I hope you won't be a stranger. I hope you'll come see us. And I wish you all the best in your next journey. And just thank you for being there for us and guiding us through this. Thank you.
Fran, if I could add, Mern,
Yeah.
that it's what Deborah has accomplished here, I think, has made it possible for us to attract such a remarkably capable successor. That of all the libraries on the East Coast, that someone as remarkably accomplished as Miss Benedict has chosen Gloucester as a place where she'd like to continue her career. And it's through Deborah's extraordinary effort to bring us to such an attractive position, such that we would be able to recruit such a remarkable candidate.
Indeed.
It's a huge gift.
All right.
So Joe, go ahead. Yeah.
I want to echo what Fred said. I think from the time I've known Deborah, she knew the library like nobody's business. All parts of it, government side, business side, operational side, very impressive. And if the person that comes in after her is half as good as that, we still did well. And more importantly, Deborah, I'm going to miss you with all the numbers. I know you love that. Spreadsheets are your thing. And I enjoyed it too. I learned a lot about how this library works and how the library works with the city. And I'm sure I couldn't have found a better teacher. I wish you luck. I work in an industry where I see people retire every day, and I'll tell you, they're not too disappointed when they get to that point. And hopefully you'll enjoy it and come visit when you don't have any pressure or stress, and just start laughing at us, because I'm sure we still will have the pressure.
That's great. Fran, you're muted.
There you are.
Here I am back. Deb and I have had a few Italian discussions over the last few years, but I got to say that there isn't anybody who's more knowledgeable about what's going on in the library and had the answers on a regular basis as Deborah. And as Fred said, and Joe, retirement it's pretty good because you get to do what you want, not what you have to do. So I wish you the best and a healthy and happy retirement. And spend time with your daughter. She's a charm.
Two.
I only met one, but she was amazing.
Yes.
Well, Deborah, thank you so much for all you've done. Yeah, I think you really are leaving us in a good place, in the sense of we've gone through so much to get to this point, and we're strong and we can keep going. I think we're just going to keep on moving, and it's because you've left us in that good place. So thank you.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah.
Do we have a vote to adjourn at this point, or does anyone have any other comments?
Did she get-
Anybody?
Does she get rebuttal?
I just want to say thank you, and to remind you all that you won't have a change agent coming in. You're going to have somebody that's coming in to do the good work that needs to be done, to build community and to move things forward. So stand behind her.
Yes.
And remember that that's where you belong, is setting the course, but then supporting her.
Yes.
Very, very good advice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
The mayor says all the stuff has been worked through, so she'll have an easy time. I hope so.
We all hope so. We all hope so.
And what I said in the first months, every month at the board meeting, Scott would turn to me and say, "You're still here." And people kept asking why, and I said, because I really love the people of Gloucester. I really love the people.
Yes.
So
Thank you.
Thank you
It's
very much.
true.
Thank you.
It's true.
thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks,
Thank you
Jen.
so much
Thanks,
for
Meredith.
helping past presidents.